5 at Belmont Park. It's over the 1,000 metres and we're starting to get to the business end of the card now, Mark, and this is a cracking race.
We are indeed, Adam. It's a very good race, and the likes of Audience, last start winner, she was mighty impressive and hard to run down.
Down on the rails at the top of the straight, followed by Sharia Moore and Nat the 5. Audience the leader at the 300, tackled by Transgressor. Now into the open comes the big mare. Amelia's Love setting after the pacemaker and stablemate, but it's got something to offer. It's Audience at the 100 clear, out by nearly 2 lengths. Transgressor, Amelia's Love can't get there, and Audience, and Pike does it again. He's booted home 4 of the first 5.
There's a strong win there by Audience. Again, this is where we start weighing up some of the values of racing rudders. I think last start with Kenosha, we talked about that graduation races up to a 72 plus. Was she going to be able to handle that? Now, this is the same thing for Audience, a 62 plus, but the bonus here was it carried 56 kilos there. It goes to a 72 plus, and with a claim to Sarah Bonner, will only carry the 51. She's in some good form. She can handle a soft track. She's 3 from 3 if the rain does come. From barrier 4, finds the front. I think she can definitely play a part in this race, but I do think she's a fair bit behind some of the other gallopers that have got a bit more class on their side. Yeah,
with the 51 kilos, Sarah Bonner could potentially give them the slip on the turn. As you mentioned, Adam, number 5, Kenosha, drops back to 72 class here. The first time in her career. She's won at 78 plus, of course. And Clint Johnson-Porter reunites with the mare, and they had a great association over the summer.
Yeah, well, I think that's the key here, is getting the 2 kilo claim as well. For Kenosha last start in that 78 plus was just a little bit outclassed by some very good gallopers. It wasn't beaten by, average ones, Volkov and Rebel Kings, those types in the race as well. So I think Kenosha with the 56.5 has to be respected. Again, has placed on a soft track before.
And Adam, of course, number 4 there, Benito. Taylor Stone takes off 3 kilos for David Harrison. Another 78 plus proven galloper. So this should be right up its alley.
Yeah, you would just want to put a line through that last start performance, don't you? Because if you go the run before with 56 kilos in a 78 plus, was beaten a short head. Now carries 55.5 in a 72 plus from barrier 1. Benito can definitely get out of the gates well and just sit out there even just behind Audience, or end up getting on the outside of it. It certainly looks to be a nice race for it. And I'm going to go that way. I think Benito will get every chance here. From 5, Kenosha, number 8, Serious Dame, and 9, Audience.
I'm going with the 9, Audience on top. I think with the lightweight she can give them the slip. From the 5, Kenosha, number 3, It's It, and the 6, Universal Law.
Race number 6 at Belmont Park. It was a 2,200 metre event for some horses that are just starting to tick along and starting to prepare for Ascot. I think Confusing will have a big campaign when we get there. Proxy definitely will enjoy the conditions, and Fathoms of Gold with Mature Ortier back from suspension, certainly one again that will cause some dramas. Yeah,
let's have a look at Proxy winning last week on the quick backup here, but was mighty impressive in beating All Too Much.
To go. All Too Much sprints off the bend. Firebirds into the clear. Dance Master the outside. Delicato dropped off. Proxy trying to put in from Flying Force under pressure behind them. Then Cut Snake. 200 to go. All Too Much in front. Dance Master's cutting it down. All Too Much in front of Dance Master. Then Firebird and Proxy still winding up. All Too Much in front, holding them at the moment. Dance Master coming late with Proxy, but All Too Much clings on, I think. All Too Much from Proxy, who...
It was a nice win by Proxy, which has been racing well over the 1,600 metres, and I like the win because I still don't think that's the distance the horse wants. This is more where we want to get out to. Just reminding me a little bit of Falcon Crest, where we saw Grant Alana Williams stay around that 1,600 metres, get a couple of wins, and then when they felt that it was just, the horse maybe had enough, starting to just slow back a little bit, step straight up, and then they won over the distance event as well. Now, Alan Matthews has been patient. He's got that win. Has to go up in weight here, but I think there's a lot of ticks. And the first is the distance, 3 attempts and 2 victories. The next, if the rain does come, soft track record of 5 attempts and 3 victories as well. I think Proxy, especially if it does rain, could be one of the better bets of the day.
Yeah, I think the thinking behind Alan Matthews here, barrier 1, it's drawn luckily enough, but also that 1 week break from 1,600 metres up to 2,200 here. We saw him pull his head off at the back of the race there. Don't give him time to settle in the stable or get fresh. Take him to the races, and hopefully he settles at the back of the field, and he should be running on strongly. His record suggests that he'll get the trip, no worries. We've also got in the race there, at number 3, Fathoms of Gold. Mature Ortier returns here, as we mentioned, and it's been running a string of excellent races, this galloper.
Yeah, it has. It made some of these gallopers worse off in the weights, like a Midnight Banquet and the types. But again, this is a galloper that will be hoping for a bit of rain. 5 attempts on a soft track for 3 victories. Mature Ortier, one of the better staying jockeys going around in Perth. And he's got a great relationship with this horse as well. Of course, it won 3 in a row, 2 at Pinjarra, and then the 1 at Belmont Parker when beating Midnight Banquet. It was a good run last start as well behind Falcon Crest, only beaten a half length. So the form lines are good. The only question mark will be the 57.5 with the weight swing that some of these other gallopers get.
Another last start winner rather is number 12, Queen of Tease. Jordan Turner rated this mare by Universal Ruler beautifully out behind the leader. Just got a really soft run in the race at Northern and was just far too strong in the finish. Could be a player here.
Yeah, definitely so. She's been quite unlucky those runs before. If you actually take a look at the two previous runs behind Grindabella and Skellig, just had no luck through the early stages. Last start, there was enough speed in the race that you knew she was going to get a crack at them late. It was a really good ride by Jordan Turner, and now we're just at 52.5 kilos from barrier 3, and good speed again in this race with the likes of Fathoms of Gold and also even a Midnight Banquet, which rolled out in front. I think you have to give her a chance in this race, but if the rain comes, I find it very hard to go against number 2 Proxy. From 3 Fathoms of Gold, 1 confusing and 12 Tease.
Yeah, I've got the exact same exactor out of number 2 on top, Proxy, from 3 Fathoms of Gold, 12 Queen of Tease, and 1 confusing.
Race number 7 at Belmont Park. It is the listed birthday stakes over the 1200 metres, and there's some very nice types in here. As you mentioned in the preview, we see the return of Wink and a Nod. Ideal Image also returns, and then some horses that are in some really good form, like Let It Slip, great shot as well, making this a very intriguing affair.
Don't forget the 10-year-old Recode as well, but we'll have a look at number 1, Lightning in My Veins. Last start, running second behind It's It.
Off the fence underneath, Lightning in My Veins, and further back Castle Retreat. It's It led them by the 300. Pike went to work. It raced 2.5 in front of Lockroy, New Time, Max Almighty, Lightning in My Veins and Castle Retreat. He draws the whip. It's It down to the 100 clear from New Time, Max Almighty. Lightning in My Veins is picking up. It's It running out of steam. Lightning in My Veins lunging. The post loomed and It's It fell in. It's It is...
Good performance there by Lightning in My Veins on return. The question mark for mine, though, in this race is carrying the top weight and at the 1200 metres. Speaking of Fred Kersley after, he just said this horse wants a 14 plus. So when you come up against some really good types and having to carry the 57.5, although this horse has some class, will be able to handle any conditions as well. I think he might just be a bit short of them with the weight.
That was my question as well. Sticking at the 1200 here, that's what made me leave him out of my numbers, but look, he's still a quality galloper. He can certainly run a race here, no doubt about it. Wink and a Nod's an interesting one. Returns since the 2,000 metre Strickland Stakes, where I think it's safe to say she didn't get it. Returns here fresh. No trial is the interesting factor, but as we know, if the rain comes as well, she's more than good enough to win this.
Yeah, she's proven before that she doesn't need a trial. She can race quite well fresh. As you mentioned, if the rain comes, good luck trying to beat her. 6 attempts on a soft track for 4 victories and a second. They'll be happy with barrier 10 as well. Means that William Pike will just be able to sit back and really work into the race nicely. Her form lines are superior. There's no doubt about that. My only question mark is the 1200 and whether maybe something that's just a little bit closer to speed can kick away and make it too tough for her to run down. But the rain comes, watch the money come as well.
Gee, I wish we had an extra 10 minutes to talk about this race because we could go right into it. But we'll go through the trial behind Scales of Justice. It was impressive winning. Coming out of that was Ideal Image, VENGABUS, and of course Great Shot as well, who all trialled pretty well at it.
Yeah, try to go through all the runners. We'll do it in number order. A Great Shot, a very impressive winner over 14 and 1600 metres, has won on a soft track as well. Question mark for mine is 12 with a 56.5. Whether this galloper's up to that class, we'll wait and see. Ideal Image is the one for mine that I was really impressed with. Glenn Smith just sat there so quietly, and then you go through the stats. First up, 3 attempts, 2 victories and a second, 2 from 2 at Belmont Park, 2 from 2 on a soft track, and 1 from 1 at the track and distance. I think this horse from barrier 4 with 55.5 kilos is going to be very hard to beat. VENGABUS has never started at Belmont Park. I could not believe that when I went through. This is a quality galloper as well. Loves the 1200 metres and can certainly get the job done here from barrier 2. And the other one, Scales of Justice, as you mentioned, really nice trial, beating Ideal Image, but did have the apprentice Taylor Stone on board there as well. So with Paul Harvey going aboard, I don't think you can rule it out, especially having never finished outside of the top 3 at Belmont Park. But I'm going to go just with one of those trialers and put number 4, Ideal Image, on top. I just think there's enough for this mare by Morning Reed and she can get the job done. From 2, Wink and a Nod, which is all class. Number 10, Scales of Justice, and 8, VENGABUS.
I'm sticking with the good mare. Number 2, Wink and a Nod on top for me. From the good trialer, number 10, Scales of Justice, 3, Great Shot, and 4, Ideal Image.
Race number 8 at Belmont Park. It's the final event of the day, over 1600 metres, a 66 plus event, and it's going to be a tough one for us, Mark, because there's a few horses that we've been cheering for in recent times. Are the CRONKITEs all too much? Blackwood's been going along well, and Settlers Creek returned in style on midweek company as well.
CRONKITE's been super, hasn't he? Let's have a look at him winning last start, betting Chasing Chaos.
Is CRONKITE now. He's to the outside, being followed by Bayella, and then came Already Famous and stepped right up, headed the remainder. At the 250, Chasing Chaos had reached the lead from the Dankster, but now Pike goes to work on CRONKITE, and CRONKITE has ambled up. He draws the whip to give it a reminder, passing the 100. It does better than Chasing Chaos. He's coming away now, and there's the 5 again for Pike. Another fabulous quintet. And
well, this horse won on one of those rare days in Perth where William Pike just dominated the card and ended up jumping as about $1.90 favourite, which we both said on course was way too short. However, 100 metres into the run, there was only one horse that was going to win this, and it was CRONKITE, and it did it with ease in the end, winning by 1.5 lengths. Now, my question mark is the form lines from that. No doubt that CRONKITE is going well. The 1,600 metres shouldn't be an issue, but there are some horses that are in very good form. The likes of BLACKWOOD, Infatuated, which have raced in better classes, but from barrier 5, he should get a really nice run again.
It's not too rare these days when William Pike rides multiple winners though, so certainly tongue-in-cheek, Adam. Number 1, Infatuated, just missed out behind Flying Raw last start. It was a good run though. Yeah,
it really was a nice performance. I'm just a little bit wary with this galloper as well, because going back through its runs, and it often struggles to string just a few together. So with 59 kilos, it was a nice performance last night with a 55, but stepping up to the 59 at 1,600 metres, there's just a couple of question marks here for mine. I wouldn't be surprised to see it win. I'll definitely be putting it in my quaddie, but I struggle to fix it in my top 4.
Number 3, BLACKWOOD. The blinkers go on this mare by Blackfriars. Hopefully that can switch her on.
I think it's exactly what it's going to do as well. I've been impressed with the run so far. Second behind Falcon Crest. Was it beaten 3.3 by Chocoholic? They went to the trials, got the blinkers put on. From barrier 10, this horse should be able to just sit back, appreciate the early speed. Does enjoy a soft track as well. 2 has won at the track in distance. I'm going to be putting her on top from number 4, CRONKITE. 6 Foes Choosel and 5 All Too Much.
I'm sticking with number 4, CRONKITE for this. From 1, Infatuated, 5 All Too Much, and 3 BLACKWOOD.
Time now to turn our attention to the best bets of the card. I'm going to go with 2 last start winners. Race 3, number 4, Royal Missile, and race 6, number 2, Proxy.
I'm waiting until the last 2 races of the day. I'm going with race 7, number 2, Wink and a Nod, and race 8, number 4, CRONKITE.
As we always do say, do follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, perthracing.com.au. Of course, we are not too far away from Ascot now, so do keep your eyes out for all of the events upcoming, and looking forward to the transfer again, going back to Ascot for the Spring Carnival. On behalf of both of us, I hope you found your plenty.